Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Messenger Studios. I'm glad you could join us today. I hope you can join us today. And if you can't, you can always do the playback later at meadecountyky.com, where we feature all of these on the website. Or you can just watch us live right now on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter. We are in studio today with some very special guests. I have with me Jennifer Henderson, who is the director of the Meade County Animal Control Shelter, along with Ashley Detra, you say. Welcome, ladies. Say hello.
Hello.
Yeah, so listen, we have been doing a lot of stuff lately in relationship to helping out the shelter. You guys have had some really good fundraisers, and I just think you guys got a lot of stuff going on that people don't know about, and we need to talk about today. What do you say?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. So I know that they started the Animal Control Advisory Board. It's been now just a little over the year, March the 1st, actually. And in that year's time frame, you guys have done a lot of improvements to the shelter. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, we've cleaned it up a lot, and
You guys painted. You guys have done painting. I mean, y'all have done some pressure washing to remove old disease and bad stuff. I mean, that's taken like lots of hours. How long have y'all had? I mean, put into that?
About, I don't know.
Between you guys and the volunteers, it's probably an ongoing process too, right?
It's completely ongoing. Like, there needs to be so much stuff that's fixed up and touched up, and it's an old building, and it's been there forever.
You know, I actually know a little fact about that building, and it's interesting because they're also partnered with the advisory board and the animal control shelter, but it's PINS, Pets in Need Society. Huge plug.
Huge.
They are a 501c3 that actually support a lot of the TNR, which is, let you explain what TNR is.
TNR is trap, neuter, return. So we go out into the community, or they bring the cats to us, male, female, let's spay and neuter. They get spayed, neuter, they get their rabies shot and an ear tip, and they go back out into their colony where they can live happy.
Yep, I'll tell you a little story about that here in a second to help the listeners know why we do that and why PINS is so involved in doing that. But PINS is your 501c3 that you can actually, if you want to make a cash donation to the shelter, if you give them a cash donation or a check donation, they actually don't get the money. It goes into the general fund. So that's one of the reasons why they partnered with PINS, because you can make those types of donations there, or you can actually go to Amazon.com. They've got a gift account for food bowls, stuff like that. Right? And how long have y'all been doing the Amazon thing?
We started that in around October last year.
You guys get a lot of donations.
We get donations every day. It's great.
Okay. Well, what are some of the donations you get?
Food, toys.
Collars, leashes,
Almost everything you'd need if you're
poopy bags,
adopting a
flea stuff.
Okay.
And when we ask for something specific, like we wanted to stick with a certain brand of dog food, they came through.
Okay. And you guys got all the storage facilities for this? And,
Yeah, we're good on that.
Yeah, so I know it's like putting lipstick on a pig.
It is.
It's still a pig, and there's a lot of work that's gone on between you guys getting there. Jennifer, tell us a little bit about yourself and how did you get to this spot?
Animal control is very new to me. My background is in wildlife rehabilitation. I did that for years. And I had a friend come to me and said, I've got the job for you.
Okay, who was the friend?
Carolyn Redmond.
Okay, yep,
Yeah.
I know her.
So I was like, okay, I don't know anything about it, but hey, I'll give it a shot. And I got it, and I'm learning as I go. There's lots to learn, but it's pretty exciting.
She's got an article in this week. I led her to the editor. I encourage you to grab a newspaper and read it. But Carolyn is a firecracker in our community, and she is a tremendous person. So I encourage anybody to read that article. But so if she got onto you, and then you applied for the job, so how did that process go? Did you know what you were getting yourself into?
I did not.
Are you glad you did it?
I'm glad I did it.
So now that you're in the position, let's talk about some of the things that you plan to do or hope to see in the next, 12 months. Now you got your sea legs under you. What are we looking forward to in the coming year?
I'm definitely going to further my education in it, and Ashley will too, as well, and just do the best we can do for these animals and get them into homes or rescue and for our communities as well.
Yeah, so
anything we can do for the community to help them, we're here for them.
Yeah, well, obviously you play a safety role in the community. Since you guys have been under the new program and stuff, how many euthanizations has the shelter seen?
I have done 6 maybe.
Maybe.
And they were broken. It was something like a cat that was hit by a car and it came in and it was
it was
lethargic and didn't know, and there was no way to help it.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Humane. You
Puppies.
did the humane thing, yeah.
We had a litter of puppies that came in. The mom mauled them.
Oh,
And
no.
it was so bad.
Oh, wow.
So it's stuff like that. It's nothing healthy,
Yeah.
nothing that can go to an adoption or even go to like a rescue.
But before, according to your records, there was slaughter in that facility, wasn't there?
Much.
What was I mean, if you could take a year back or a couple years ago and say, what was the count?
So Jen came to me about a month ago when we were getting with the builders, and they were wanting to know like how many stuff comes in, how much stuff gets euthanized, how much stuff goes to rescues, adoptions. So I went through all the paperwork for the last like 5 years. And I think the last year that it was ran, that she wasn't here or I think one just in cats, like adult cats, not even kittens, there was like 62 that had been euthanized for no reason. And that was the stuff that we actually saw. Like there's so much other paperwork that wasn't even filed.
So if you were to put a number on it, total between cats and dogs, how many?
I would say close to 200 for a full year, cats and dogs.
Well, and so you've only done, in the last year that you've been here, full 12 months, 6.
Yes.
So what do you attribute to that success? What is it? Is it because we've got fostering programs? What is in place that has made the difference?
We have great fosters. There's rescues out there. Just adoptions. Adoptions are we're doing
Putting in the work?
putting in the work and care about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Care about what's going to happen to these animals.
So how many adoptions have y'all done in the last 12 months?
So many.
23 last month, and that's a pretty good number.
That's 23. That's almost, what? Hold on. Quick math. It's 15-20% of the death rate for the previous number. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
So we've, even when we've had aggressive dogs come in, we got with a lady named Jody, and she came out and she's working with one of our, he's not really aggressive, but he's got some quirks that,
He's unpredictable.
yeah, he can't just go to anybody. Like,
Yeah, I gotcha. It needs
expert,
I get that.
like somebody that knows what they're doing with a dog. And Jody came in and volunteered her time to work with this dog, and then she's also given free trainings with the new adopter and the dog.
Yeah,
So-
I think you guys got a vendor out there that'll give free grooming to an adopted
We
dog.
do.
Who's that?
That would be rough to possum.
Oh, where are they located?
1638,
On 1638.
Yeah.
Well, 1638's long. Can you be more specific?
right by Doe Valley.
Oh, I know where that place is. Isn't that little cabin outside of Doe Valley?
Yes.
That is a cute. Now, you guys have actually started doing inspections on businesses that take care of animals outside of the veterinarian care industry. Is that right?
Yep.
Could y'all talk a little bit about that? Because y'all been doing a lot of those lately. Now that the ordinance, this is actually I think y'all enforcement of the ordinance since its inception.
So we went to one place and she was like, I've been here 5 years and I've never gotten an inspection done. And we were like, it's in the ordinance. We're starting to try to
Enforce it?
do better and enforce it and make sure that everybody's doing right and doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Okay. Well, and did they pass the inspection?
We haven't had anybody fail yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've done 8 so far. Everybody's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Well, that's what we want to think in the animal industry, both private and
Yeah.
and government.
I mean, if we go to one and we see something that could potentially be a fail, we talk to them about it, let them know what could work better, how they could fix that.
Yeah.
And then most of the time we'll give you a couple weeks to get it together. We'll come back out and recheck. And as long as everything's good, it's
But you can get a
passed.
fine as a business if you're operating outside of the license requirements, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if you don't fix it,
Yeah.
It's like you could shut this down or fine them from the county attorney's office.
And they can't tell us no. Like
No,
if
you
we
can't.
come
It's
to
in
do
the
an
ordinance of law.
Yeah. If we come out to do the inspection, you cannot not let us in.
Yeah.
And you cannot not show us a room. Like we got to see it all.
Yeah.
It sometimes isn't the best.
So what if I'm
but
doing it from my house?
We're coming in, buddy.
Okay. I think that'd be a little different. Y'all better tread some water on that one. But you can't be advertising yourself as running a business.
So I have went to one that she did run it out of her house. And I told her, I don't need to see your entire house. I just need to see where the animals are going. If you keep your animals in cages in the living room, I need to see, the setup you have. But I don't need to go through your bedroom. Nothing like that.
I would
Nothing
hope
crazy.
that you don't keep and you're grooming out of your house. And I guess unless you're boarding for somebody or dog sitting. Is dog sitting considered a business? Mm-hmm. Well, what about babysitting?
Well, that's a different kind of animal.
Oh, it's human. Yeah, I got it. Okay.
But we can.
It's a mammal.
We're supposed to do horse stables, like
Okay.
boarding stables, grooming, boarding, pet sitting, doggy daycares, all that kind of stuff. Kennels. If you have a kennel and you're just breeding dogs, or even if you have your own personal kennel where you have 10 plus dogs, like hunting dogs, we have to come out and give you a kennel inspection.
Yeah. What's the purpose of that?
I've kind of did a little bit of research on it because I was just curious for myself, like, why is this a thing? So I think for me personally, I'm able to go and see these places that are businesses and they're doing things for our community. Well, let's make sure that behind the scenes it's good and it's healthy. Just like a food inspection. Yeah. You're not going to go to a restaurant that has never had a food inspection. Like you want to know that they passed that food inspection. Yeah. So it's similar. Like you want to know that where you're going is a good place to go to. And there's not abuse going on, filth, diseases. Right. So many different possibilities.
Well, I would think too, from a private sector, if I was, because I think there was a problem, or there can always be a problem in the fostering industry, where people get a little bit overwhelmed and they just keep doing it because they love the animals so much. But it can also become a nuisance to the neighbors and all that other stuff too. So I think there's a zoning line that you probably cross at some point too. If if I would assume that if I was a neighbor and I heard a whole bunch of dogs barking, I didn't sign up for that when I moved into the house, and now all of a sudden you've got 50 dogs in the backyard, and you call. Well, I would say I'm going to call animal shelter because it says you can only have 10.
Right. And we actually have a similar situation to that actually going on. We won't name any names or anything like that, but in the city, you can't do that. That's sound ordinances and all that kind of stuff. But outside of the county, you can.
Okay.
But I mean, you're not limited to 10. You can have more, but
once you start getting at 10, you got to get a license to show that you can care for all of those animals.
And when you have a group of dogs, 10 plus dogs, as long as they're healthy and happy, they're not going to be going crazy 24/7.
No, they form a pack.
Yeah, and
but
they'll
if you're
chill
rolling
out.
them over back and forth,
right? If they're being played with, if they're being walked, if their bellies are full. Now, if you have dogs that are starving, they ain't got nothing to play with, and they don't have nothing to do, they're gonna bark.
Well, I think that would also give you all. I would assume that would give you all authority to enter a property too, if there are that many dogs, and then hey, we can see this. We're coming on your property, or something like that. I don't know how that works. I'm sure that you got. Sydney probably gives y'all some advice before you proceed.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of red tape.
Okay,
and a lot of people don't know. When it comes to animal control, there's a lot of stuff that we can't do. Yeah. Like we can't go to somebody's house and just take their dog away.
No, right.
And a lot of neighbors will call in and be like, "Oh, this neighbor of mine, their dog's in my yard and they're doing this and doing this." And it's like, we can go out there and talk to them. You can catch the dog on your property, but we still have to call that owner and let their owner have their dog back. Yeah. And we don't want to just take people's dogs. Now, if they're malnourished, abused, something like that, that's different. But we got a lot of red tape, and a lot of people don't understand that. Like, we're not even allowed to cross a gate.
Yeah. Nope. I get that.
Yeah, like
You'll be like that viral sheriff who stepped across the gate, said no trespassing, and
yeah,
then they shot the
absolutely.
dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to go back to the TNR discussion that you had earlier. Obviously, that's where they trap and then release the animal after they get it spayed and neutered. And so the interesting thing about cats, if you don't know this out in the public, if you're feeding that little kitty that keeps coming up on your porch, you are actually increasing the cat population, especially if they're not spayed and neutered, and you're not helping them. They know how to live on their own. The best thing you can do is trap that animal. They're not going to starve. And then follow their TNR program. Right now, they're currently not taking any more TNRs right now until the budget and stuff, all that gets balanced out, or
No.
space, or what is it? Go ahead.
The vet that we use,
Oh, that's right.
he has a detached retina, so he
You don't want to give PI. That's his.
He can't.
You can't talk about. He can't see right
he
now.
can't see,
He
so
can't-
he can't do surgeries.
Yeah, and it gets expensive, but Penn's has been very supportive and cooperative in a lot of those TNRs that we partnered with Hardin County on, I believe. And their animal control facility actually has veterinarian facilities in there. But to you out in the public, what happens is a female cat can actually reproduce 8 litters in a year at the population of probably about 30 more cats. You can do the math problem, but if they produce 30 more cats in a year, little kittens, and even 50% of those are females, well, you just do the automatic math problem there, and it gets out of control very fast. So a TNR program actually is healthy for the community. So those barn alley cats that you got, if you just trap them when they have the program back, and check their Facebook page at the Meade County Animal Shelter, they'll let you know when they're doing those types of things. Or even if you just did it yourself, there's vouchers out there that you can get a voucher to do a TNR with pins and actually get that animal so that they don't keep reproducing on your property and become a nuisance, which is what they can do.
Yeah, because they can start having babies before a year old too.
Yep, nope. Now, an interesting fact is it's not just dogs and cats that you're responsible for. So can you talk to me about the other responsibilities with animals in the county?
Cows and horses that have gotten loose and out running. I had one the other night running down 60, but the best we can do is try to
Corral it?
somewhere and get it back to the owner. And that happened. It was great. It was simple and easy. Not always, but I mean.
Yeah, nobody likes to chase a horse down a
No.
highway with traffic going up and down.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
And
That
if
can
we
be
ever
very
did
ugly.
have to corral one and take it somewhere, I have a good volunteer that has offered her stable
Yep.
anytime we need it like that too. Her name's Cody Pringle.
Okay. Well, we don't exactly have stable facilities, but that's actually a KRS responsibility with the job, correct?
Yes.
So it's a law mandated by the state that animal control also helps do that. Now, obviously, fix and repair fences is important too. So I'm sure when y'all drive around, you probably don't have a lot of time. But if you do see the farmers, it's like you need to fix your fence, so I don't have to deal with this problem later. That can also go with planning and zoning, correct? For zoning violations and stuff. So when you deal with, what about roadside kills and deer and all that other stuff? Do y'all deal with that too?
We don't do that.
That's road department? All right. So I know I called you the other day because there was a dead otter.
Yeah.
I thought it would be bad if Otter Creek and an otter, and it was a big sucker too.
She was huge.
She was a big girl.
Yeah.
I hope she wasn't
And she smelled terrible.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. She was ugly. She was pretty though.
She was ugly, but she's pretty.
She was ugly because she was dead, but she was pretty if she was alive. But when you see deer on the side of the road and stuff, that's the roads department, I believe. Isn't that correct?
Yep.
And then, but that's not animal control. So don't blow up their phone because you see Bambi that got nipped. That's actually going to be both of you guys, road department,
Yeah.
and then you guys to do the humane thing, or a sheriff can actually take a bullet and put them out of their misery. How does that work?
I'm not sure. We haven't had to encounter that yet.
Oh, okay.
No,
That'd be
I had a horse that got hit by a car.
Oh.
Okay.
And I was like, she was gone out of town, and I was like, I can't do anything about it. Like, I'm not legally allowed to.
Yeah.
I was like, we either got to call a vet or the sheriff's gonna have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
old Yellowstone style.
Yeah.
You know, that's not good.
No.
That is the sad part of the job, I
It
think, is when you have to end an animal life, and nobody likes to do that. Nobody likes to take a life unless it's going to be food on your table or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's rough. And a lot of the times when it's an animal that's got to be euthanized, it's due to humans.
Yeah.
You know, it's not what they did.
Speaking of animals, have y'all noticed that we have an armadillo migration?
I saw a dead armadillo on the road the other day.
I've not seen one.
I did.
There's been a couple of sightings, actually. I covered an article. You should check it out. It's on meadecountyky.com. But anyway, but there is an animal. There is a armadillo migration, and I know why it's happening in Kentucky. Yep. Ever since they opened the borders, they just got tired of living with all the illegal aliens, and they started migrating this way. And I can say that. It's just a joke, folks. I'm just teasing. So the migration has started over the last 10 years, and they've slowly increased their population. They are a nocturnal animal like the possum and the skunk, and they are invading into our farms and agricultural environments. So
What about the bears?
I heard about that the other day.
Seeing bears everywhere. Not really
The
here.
population for bears has increased. I think it's there was a alert for our neighboring counties, so and that feeds into us too. But ultimately, the animal control shelter is for your safety in the community. That's why they're designed. It's for a safety for the community. I know there was the meeting last night that you guys held. You gave your June report. Do you continue to see progress like that in the coming year of all the things that y'all have accomplished as far as adoption rates and keeping the euthanization down?
I do. I feel like I'm getting better all the time. Each month when we do that and I give a report, I'm like, that's better than last month.
It is, right?
All right, let's keep on going.
Yeah, and that report will actually come out in a news story in the coming week. Question about you guys have surrenders. Tell me about what a surrender is and how that works. Right now, you don't have the space, right? But it specifically talks about surrenders in the ordinance, and you don't have to accept a surrender. Isn't that correct?
We do not have to. If we do, they are, per ordinance, need to be fully vaccinated, all of their shots, spayed or neutered, and there's a $50 fee. And if we're full, I can refuse it at any time.
Yeah, but you can also waive it too, right? You can waive the fee.
Whatever,
We've had different situations.
Yeah, so I would say, and if you don't know this, and maybe y'all can help me explain it a little bit better, but the purpose behind the ordinance, I believe, is to prevent somebody who's had an animal for 15 years that just doesn't want to pay the vet bill to take care of it any longer. You can't come in without having not taken care of your animal for 15 years and then just dump it in the lap of the animal shelter. And you also have to be a citizen of Meade County in order to do a surrender. Isn't that correct?
Yeah. You can't come from Brett County, Indiana, Louisville. No.
Right. Yeah, you can't bring your problem to us. I mean, that makes common sense.
Right.
So what is going on with the shelter? What do you guys have planned coming up?
For the first time ever, we're going to be in the fair parade.
All right. Are you walking or riding? Because it's a long walk. I'll tell you that right
Well,
now.
I'll have walkers handing out candy, I'm sure. And we have a volunteer that's donated use of their trailer to build a float, and we've got that all planned out. Nice and neat, and going to be a surprise.
All right. I'll be looking for those photos. So first time ever, you guys going to be in that? I think somebody. I mean, this would probably be like, what? We have an animal shelter?
Right.
It's always been like a little, as long as I don't hear anything about it, it's not a problem. But it's actually a bigger problem than most people think. You said you have volunteers. So how many volunteers does the shelter now have helping support you guys?
39 adults and 17 youths.
Wow. Now, do the youth get credit for helping with the volunteer for their school projects and stuff like that?
They can if they have a form they bring to us.
Okay. That's awesome. And then do you guys have regular adoption hours and stuff like that? Can you tell me what the adoption process is?
Adoptions are Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday from 10 to 1.
Okay.
Yeah, anytime.
And how many dogs do you have ready and cats ready for adoption?
We had 17 yesterday. 18, 19, 20. We got 20 dogs. We had 3 come in today.
But
All right.
only like 16 of those are ready.
Yeah.
Vetted,
Yep.
spayed, neutered, and ready.
Tell
17.
me about that. So I'm not just getting a dog that I got to go get fixed and all that. Tell me about that.
Yeah.
So all the dogs or cats that we adopt out have to be spayed and neutered before they leave, and they're fully vetted. Some of the kittens,
What did it used to be?
nothing,
$20 and
and a handshake.
And a handshake. Now, I thought the adoption form said you had to go get them spayed and neutered.
Yeah.
How did that? What you mean? They just left the shelter and didn't have spayed and neuter?
some were set up beforehand, but
Okay.
yeah, you were supposed to.
And you're supposed to send that back to prove
Yeah.
that you did it, right?
Yeah, there's a pink slip, a part of the adoption papers, and you were to mail that back or bring it back by when you had it done.
How many of those were on file?
There's still some in the book we're waiting.
I can't stand that folder either.
Oh my gosh!
It is like
Okay.
this thick.
Oh,
Yes.
that's a lot more than
It
a
is
few.
so many, so bad.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't even know if you have a good story or not.
No.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so how many end up in foster and stuff? Do y'all foster them out and they get homes, or do y'all, how does that work?
It all depends. Sometimes we just had a lady come in. She loves doing fosters.
Okay.
She took a break for a little while and she come back and she's like, I'm ready. So she took one dog. She had him 2 days and he was adopted.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
She put him out on Facebook too.
Yeah, well, she's probably got a huge following
Yeah.
if she's been doing it a while. That's good. So I've seen a lot of beautiful animals come out of that facility. I often wonder how they get here, and it's
Mind-boggling.
It is mind-boggling. I know that. Well, I'm telling on myself. I know that we have over 6,000 clients at that reputable business that does free grooming to an adoption, and of course a lot of them are left because they were military clients and that they've come and gone. So the stack ends up large and large, but 6,000 clients is a lot, and that's each dog essentially, not the owners, because some owners have like 4 or 5 or 3 or 2 or just the one. But who's been your long timers in the shelter that really need a home right now?
Atlas and Amelia.
Okay.
They're two. Amelia's a black lab mix, and then Atlas is Heinz 57.
Okay.
But he is,
How much do they weigh?
Atlas probably weighs about 45 pounds, maybe. He came in really malnourished. He was really, really, really skinny.
He came in with Amelia and another one, and they were all
Just,
almost emaciated.
oh, wow.
Yeah. So it
And
took a
you
minute
brought them
get
back to health?
Yeah.
Wow.
And they got the quirkiest personalities. Every dog in that shelter right now has their own little quirks
They're like
they're
little
funny.
people.
They really are.
They are like little
They really are. We got one dog. His name's Brutus. He's huge, and he loves water. And he will not use the bathroom in his kennel. As soon as you let him out in the mornings, he goes straight outside, use the bathroom, and then he'll go and eat. And you'll be like, "Come on, Brutus, it's time to go inside," and he'll look at you. And then as soon as you go to grab him, he takes off the other direction.
Of
I'm
course
like,
they do.
Bro,
I don't want to go back yet.
no.
If you can.
Oh, I know what you're
Yeah.
doing.
And then we have our lazy dogs. We have a couple of dogs that are
Meh.
they don't care about much. Amelia, that's her. She's dog friendly with males. She's kind of female selective, but she's really chill. She's a sweetheart. She's always in the back behind Ted, and he's going crazy barking in the front, and she's just chilling in the back.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys got to get down to the shelter if you're watching this and go check out the adoptions. You can also go to their Facebook page and check it out. You guys are y'all planning any types of future events where you do like a public public vaccine? Could you tell me a little bit about some of those the concepts, the ideas where you can get a discounted rate for? I know there's been talk about that, and then obviously your adoption. Like if you've got some things that are scheduled in the future where you're gonna. Be at places, but I know you're not going to have the dogs out at the fair because it'd be really hot. But I mean, do y'all have some adoption events coming up?
So the fair
Or in the planning stages?
The
at least?
fair, we're not sure yet. That's
Okay.
kind of, it waits till like the week before till we find out. Market on Main, we try to do the markets on Main. The lady that it's a Bevan, isn't she? I think. Hometown Honey's Boutique or something over by Kroger.
Anyway.
Anyways, she throws the markets on Main, and she told us, she said, we're more than welcome anytime.
Okay.
The last June, we didn't do it because we were like, the dogs need a break. We need a break.
Okay.
You know, be with our families. And then I think there's one this weekend, and with it being a holiday weekend, everybody's kind of everywhere.
And
so
it's super hot.
it is.
I
And
love doing them.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. It's cold outside. Are you kidding me? Just kidding. I was literally sweating from head to toe as soon as I got out of bed till the time I got to work, and I got in the air conditioning, and then I leaned up against my chair, and I was like, oh, that's cold because the sweat.
Right.
I was like, oh.
Well, with the dogs, it's not only that it's too hot outside, they get over a situation pretty fast because they're in those kennels and at the shelter all the time. And when we take them out, I mean, essentially they're over it. Yeah, they're like, we're done. Let's go back. And then with it being too hot too, we feel like it's just too much.
Yeah, it does take a lot off of, it takes a toll on them.
But our volunteers, anybody can come and walk. If you want to adopt somebody, you can come and walk them, and you can even take them on field trips and take them down to Buttermilk Falls, Tractor Supply, anywhere.
Yep, that's cool.
Yep.
So if I wanted to volunteer, how do I get started?
You come by the shelter and get an application, fill it out.
You do have to be fingerprinted, right?
No.
We need blood too.
Oh, you need blood too? Okay.
I'm joking.
You do a background check though, right?
Yeah, we send it off.
18 and older though.
Go through a background check.
Okay.
And then the youth applications, they don't have to do that.
Okay.
And if they're under the age of 16, they have to be accompanied by an adult.
Okay. That's cool. And how many hours can I put in a week?
As many as you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
As long as the doors are open, right?
Right. And we don't pick and choose. Like if you come in, and we have one lady that loves to clean the back kennels, loves it. So we let her go back there and do her thing. We have a couple other people that just do walks. We have some people that just do cats. It's kind of dealer's choice.
All right, got it. And you guys actually have air conditioning in the kennels? So, and the dogs are loving that this year?
I'm sure.
I bet they are. So is there any final comments from you guys to talk about the shelter that you want everybody to know out there in Facebook land and the news?
Be patient with us.
Yeah. Hey, come out and see us and see what we got. And also, any donation to Pets in Need Society helps us too.
Yep,
Yeah.
it sure does. Helps with the PNR, the TNR. It also cuts back on the amount of tax dollars to spend. There was a good discussion about that last night at the Animal Control Advisory Board. You know, this is a service like law enforcement is a service. They don't make money in catching bad guys. They're there for safety and security. And, you know, when you have an organization like PENS who's there to help support this, it does take a lot of the burden off. But ultimately, it is a taxpayer burden to have these types of facilities so that, and I will say this on behalf of the judge executive, he said, how we treat our animals is how people will see how we take care of our people. And so if we're doing good for our animals, then people will know that our community does good to take care of its people.
And that's something else that we do too for the community. If anybody is in need of dog food, small kennels, sometimes if we have extras that were donated to us, we'll donate out. Dog toys, cat food. I mean, if there's any way that we can help, we'll help.
That is awesome. Anything else, Jennifer?
That'll be it.
That's it?
I think so.
Well, hey, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say thank you for tuning in with us today. It's been a great show. Jennifer and Ashley, thank you guys so much. We're glad to have you on here. And folks, stay tuned. If you want more information, go to meadecountyky.com, or you can check out the Meade County Animal Shelter at their Facebook page. You guys don't really have a website or on the county page. It's kind of like...
There is, but we don't really do
Yeah,
anything
no.
with it.
All the activity and the information that you need to find is on their Facebook page. If you don't have Facebook, well, okay. But that's how you're going to get in touch with them. So
Give us
check
a
it out.
call if you
Give
don't
them-
have Facebook.
That's right. Give them a call. And what's your phone number?
270-422-2064.
There you go. You heard it right here. Rewind it. Play it back. Take that and rewind it back. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. We're glad you could join the show. We hope you got a lot of information from this and that you can pass it along. Help out our animal control shelter. They're doing great things. See you later.